Hey, Wellness Warriors. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Vicky, and I'm so glad that you took the time to spend a little bit of time with me because I've spent years researching and studying so that I could understand my own body because I had learned so many half-truths throughout my many years of yo-yo dieting up and down. And finally, a couple of years ago, I started learning the right things about my body. So I'm hoping that today you can learn the right things about your body because we're going to talk about the two kinds of fat that there are, the two main types of fat in your body. I really believe that wellness is not about trying harder. It's about learning more and understanding things so that you can create your own wellness life. So that's what we're all about on this channel. And so join me on the journey. I was fortunate enough to sort of start finding the true science behind how my body functioned, and I was able to apply it. I hope that that information will help you as well. There are so many half-truths out there on TikTok and Instagram and all this other crazy stuff. All these influencers are constantly trying to get you to do this or do that. I'm not about that. I'm about helping you to shorten your learning curve because my learning curve was long. And if I can do anything to help you to figure out how your metabolism and your body works, then I'd be delighted. So join us today in the video. Okay, first of all, fat is not the enemy, but it might not be our best friend either. So it used to be boom and bust. For 99% of human history, food was never a guaranteed 3 meals a day kind of thing. Our ancestors lived in a state of obligatory intermittent fasting because sometimes they just didn't have enough food. Sometimes it was feast or famine. If the hunt was successful or you found a good berry bush, then it'd be great. Unfortunately, because of that, we were actually designed to store fat. Those who could not store fat did not live to pass on their genes. So you and I are literally descendants of the world's best fat stores. And how did our body do that? You guessed it, our old pal insulin. He was the manager. So insulin's historical job was to be the store manager to lock away all that energy in the fat cells during the harvest so that we could have it for later. So if you've ever wondered what a fat cell looks like inside your body, this is it, the beautiful fat cell. There was a geneticist named James Neal, and he came up with something called the thrifty gene hypothesis. He argued that our genes are literally hardwired to be exceptionally efficient at processing food and depositing fat. How's that for making you feel awesome about yourself? Anyway, the glitch is our genes haven't changed much in 10,000 years, but our environment has. And now we live in a permanent feast situation because here we are living in a world of Uber Eats and 24-hour grocery stores. Our bodies are still trying to prepare for winter that never. So it's not really funny because we do live in a world with way too many choices and our poor genes have not caught up to us. So unfortunately for us, our body needs to know that the famine is over, winter is not coming. So I said we'd talk about the two different types of body fat, the main types. One is subcutaneous fat. It's that you can pinch it on your tummy and you know right where it is. The more advanced and difficult kind of fat is called visceral fat. It is deep inside your body, underneath your organs and around your organs.
Wind. In this detailed 3D visualization, we observe the accumulation of visceral fat, highlighted in yellow.
Okay, you can see the two different types of cell. On the left is the visceral fat. On the right is the subcutaneous fat. The visceral fat just grows and grows, and then it has to stop growing because there's just not enough room. So it just keeps filling up your abdominal cavity underneath. If you look at the subcutaneous cells, they just keep growing and growing. So it can get annoying because there's too many of them, but it's not as dangerous as the visceral fat because the visceral fat is wrapping around your organs and it's causing really serious problems. So we've all known someone who has a very distended belly, but it seems very hard, like there's a beach ball inside there, that's probably because they have visceral fat underneath and the subcutaneous fat on the top. Okay, so why is it that this type of fat, this visceral fat, is more dangerous? Because if you look at the portal vein that goes straight into the liver and down into other systems, that is letting that visceral fat go directly into other areas with organs where it's very dangerous because it's very inflammatory and it's the primary driver of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. As you can see, this is super complicated, and you really do need a doctor to help you walk through this. If you suspect that you have visceral fat in your body, which quite frankly, most of us do, then you should talk to your doctor and ask for a DEXA scan or some kind of test that will help you understand what your metabolic health is like. Or if you suspect that your spouse has it, it's really important to check this out. Again, these videos are just for information purposes to help you to get a better handle on what's going on in your life and those you love. Think of your body like a 1950s refrigerator. It was built to last forever and do one thing, stay cold. But it's just your body is not broken. It's just doing exactly what it was designed to do with way too much modern input. It's also like a suitcase where you keep trying to stuff stuff in and it just doesn't fit and then you break the zipper. Well, modern life is so busy. We're all tested with time. Time is something that you just get super busy, and before you know it, the kids are demanding fast food and you're stopping by, the closest fast food restaurant, and choices are being made that aren't necessarily what you think in fact, what you should be making. But sometimes we have to do things for convenience. So I I have a family too, and sometimes I cringe at the choices that get made just because things look so beautiful. And I remember a video once where I was listening to a scientist who came to America from another country, and he was at the Statue of Liberty. He happened to be talking to a food scientist from one of the big food companies, and she told him how proud she was of all the food additives that she could give to food so that it would stay fresh for months and that it would look beautiful and just all the crazy things. And so I think we just have to realize we're up against big corporations that want us to just keep spending all of our money on the food products or food-like products that they're creating. So whenever you can, try to eat real food. And honestly, when I make treats, I use what I know. I use butter and eggs and flour and sugar. I know what that is. It's not a food-like product. It actually is food that I can create. Okay, my friends, I'm hoping that you're going to like and subscribe to this video because I'm really trying to pack in some great information for you. So why is visceral fat called the angry fat? It's because it sends out inflammatory signals directly to your liver, and that is the beginning of insulin resistance. All right, the next time you're looking in the mirror, I want you to remember something about that squishy subcutaneous fat. It's just a safety blanket. And that firm visceral fat that's tucked deep inside, it's just an overstuffed storage unit. You're not broken. You're just biologically prepared for a winter that hasn't come. But guess what? You are the boss of your own biology. By understanding these two fats, you're already miles ahead in your wellness journey. Because they are good fats, and they were created to help you. So I want you to remember that your personal fat threshold is unique to you, and understanding your specific shape, and it's the first step towards your own amazing wellness journey. So I'm going to encourage you, keep going, keep doing it. You can make it. So it's getting late in the day, and I'm trying to finish up this video as best I can. So if you're asking yourself, why is it that after 40, everything changed? It's really mostly probably because of your hormones, because in the past, your body was storing things in a different way. And because your hormones are changing, now it's like your hormone manager is telling your body to store visceral fat and to store fat in your belly. So the good news is I saved this for last because the good news is that visceral fat, once you start addressing your insulin, even though you might not think that you have insulin resistance, you probably do if you have visceral fat. And if things are changing, you're eating the same things you've always been eating, but you're putting on weight, especially around your waist, around your midsection. As a woman, you should be under 35 inches, especially the shorter you get, actually, you should be under 34 inches or 33 inches if you're a shorter woman. So, and for men, it's like under 40 inches. They want you to be somewhere between 36 and 40 inches for your waist circumference. And so if you can measure that and it's higher than those numbers, then there's a good chance that you've got more than just the subcutaneous fat going on. You may have the inside your body kind of visceral fat, especially if you're under a lot of pressure. If you're a high pressure person and you have a lot of deadlines, high executives like CEOs tend to have a lot of visceral fat. So there are things that you can do, and you don't have to wait to go talk to your doctor, but if you feel like you have it, you should definitely have this conversation so that you can come up with a good healthcare plan. But there are a lot of things that you can do. One of the things you could do, of course, I talk about this all the time, is let's eat real food. Let's not be eating food from, I think it's Benjamin Bickman says, do not eat food from bags and boxes with barcodes. And I totally believe that as a simple rule. But as you know, these large corporations, these food corporations, they just want us to stay their customers forever. And so they make these foods that are just so incredibly tasty that you want to keep eating them. So really the best food for us to eat is the natural foods. Hardly anyone has their own garden anymore, but there's certainly, you can buy organic, but you don't have to buy organic. Just buy good food, just buy real food. And I'll go over lots more videos that talk about specific types of food and different types of plans you can do and, things that you can do to help and support yourself. But I felt like before we start talking about any kind of food meal plans or any stuff like that, you really do have to understand how your body is working inside, so that you're not working against yourself. Because honestly, I spent a lot of years just sort of wandering around in the dark, just trying to figure out, oh my gosh, now what do I try? Now what do I do? Trying all these different things. And so I feel like if you're interested in your own personal wellness, just recognize that each person is going to be slightly different. And so you really are sort of experimenting with yourself. So yes, definitely get your healthcare provider involved, but also recognize that they're dealing with hundreds of people. And so you know your own body and how your body's reacting to the food that you're eating and the exercise you're getting and things like that. So I hope this had some value for you. I really tried to give you my, best shot at the visceral fat versus subcutaneous fat. And so, oh yes, I promised you, one of the things that you can do immediately is, besides eating good food instead of eating junk, one of the things you can do for yourself is definitely some sort of resistance training, whether it's weightlifting or whether it's resistance bands or it's literally doing push-ups against a wall. Or I like to do, one thing that I like to do is I learned from Dr. Sten Ekberg, who is he's an Olympic athlete and he's a doctor. He basically said to do 25 squats a day and just stand by a counter. You don't have to do fancy squats, like jumping kind of squats, but just do 25 squats as deep as you can go in the morning and at night. And if you did that every day, your legs would get a lot stronger. And frankly, your legs are the biggest muscle, one of the biggest muscles in your body. And so, yes, you can do, bench presses and all that kind of stuff. But really, your legs are where you're going to use up the most glucose and build the best muscle mass that you can for your body. So that's one. And the eating better foods and try to get sleep. I know that's really hard sometimes. That's one of those tricky ones that we all suffer with. But as you get older, you can create your own amazing wellness life. You don't have to leave it to a drug or, some magic diet that is the latest fad out there on the internet. You don't have to do that. You really can literally choose to make your own and create your own amazing wellness life. So, all right, I think that's it for me today because the sun has gone down. It's getting dark in here. So anyway, I hope this has been of some benefit to you. Please leave comments. It really helps when you leave comments so that I can hear what your feedback is, what's interesting to you, what's not, what you like, what you don't like. I'll try to do more of that, of whatever it is that is helpful to you. I got the feedback from the last video that I did that less clips would be better because it was a little bit, I don't know, confusing. And, I'm not a techie, so I'm sure I didn't do everything right, but I'm trying. So give me a little love. I could use it. All right. Have a great week.